Medieval India, chapter number 4, page number 33. We have started with the first paragraph about the Bhakti movement. Let's start with it. We have already referred to the growth of Tantrism in North India, in which anyone, irrespective of caste, could be enrolled. But far more important and broad based was the growth of Bhakti movement in South India. The Bhakti movement was led by a series of popular saints called Nayanars and Alvars. These saints rejected austerities. They looked upon religion not as a matter of cold, formal worship, but as a living bond based on love between God and the worshipper. The chief objects of their worship were Shiva and Vishnu. They spoke and wrote in Tamil and Telugu, the languages which everyone could understand. These saints went from place to place carrying their message of love and devotion. Some of them belonged to the lower classes and some were Brahmins. There were also a few women saints. Almost all of them disregarded the inequalities of caste, though they did not try to oppose the caste system as such. The lower caste had been excluded from Vedic scholarship and Vedic worship. The path of bhakti advocated by these saints was open to all, irrespective of the caste. The bhakti movement was not only one to the fold of Hinduism and many adherents of Buddhism and Jainism, they also won over many tribals. Another popular movement which arose during the 12th century was the Lingayat or the Veer Shiva movement. Its founder was Basava and his nephew Channa Basava, who lived at the court of Kalachuri kings of Karnataka. They established their faith after bitter disputes with the Jains. The Lingayats are worshippers of Shiva. They strongly opposed the caste system and rejected fast, feast, and pilgrimages and sacrifices. In the social sphere, they opposed child marriage and allowed remarriage of widows. Thus, both in South and North India, the revival and expansion of Hinduism took two forms: a renewed emphasis on the Vedas and the Vedic worship on one hand, accompanied by a powerful literary and intellectual movement, and on the other, a popular movement based in North India on Tantra and in the South India on Bhakti. Both Tantra and Bhakti disregarded caste inequalities and were open to all. At the intellectual level, the most serious challenge to Buddhism and Jainism was posed by Shankara, who reformulated the Hindu philosophy. Shankara was born in Kerala, probably in the 9th century. His life is shrouded in obscurity, and many legends have grown around his life. Persecuted by the Jains, it is said thereafter, he undertook a triumphant visit to the North India where he worsted his opponents in debate. The victory was completed by a warm welcome by the king on his return to Madurai and the banishment of the Jains from the court. Shankara's philosophy is called Advaitvada or the doctrine of non-dualism. According to Shankara, God and the created world was one. The differences were apparent but not real and arose due to ignorance. The way forward to salvation was devotion to God, strengthened by the knowledge that God and the created beings were one and the same. This philosophy is called Vedanta. Thus, Shankara upheld the Vedas as the fountainhead of true knowledge. The path of knowledge put forward by the Shankara could be understood by only a few. It could thus not influence the masses. In the 11th century, another famous scholar, Ramanuja, tried to assimilate bhakti into the tradition of Vedas. He argued that the grace of God was more important than knowledge about Him in order to attain salvation. He further argued that the path of bhakti was open to all, irrespective of the caste. Thus, Ramanuja tried to build a bridge between the popular movement based bhakti, and the upper caste movement based on the Vedas. The tradition established by Ramanuja was followed by a number of thinkers such as Madhavacharya in 10th century and in the North India by Ramananda, Vallabhacharya and others. In this way, Bhakti movement became acceptable to all sections of the Hindu society by the early 16th century. Thank you everyone. That was the end of chapter number 4. Congratulations on coming this far in medieval India, and let's hope we complete this entire book in time before our exams. And all the best to everyone who stayed till this long, and thank you for supporting us. All the best for exams, and do share and subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thank you everyone.